So, what do you do when you are in pain, right? And this is happening in your 3D, you're feeling it in your body, and I've been there, trust me. Um, and so, this is a very real experience for all of us. So, what do we do when we have pain and we are wanting to experience something different? The first thing is you have to acknowledge the pain. You have to acknowledge the emotions. I shouldn't say you have to. There are times where you don't even need to hardly give it any attention and things will shift. But when you're very aware of like what is actually happening, like in your body and that kind of thing, oftentimes we need to just sit and acknowledge whatever's going on. Understand though that you are not your emotions, you are not your pain, you are not your thoughts, that you're actually observing all of this. And an interesting, story, if you've watched some of my videos, you might have heard me share this story before, but just before I moved back in October, I injured my back really bad, like really bad. And it was just a silly thing. I was just getting up off the bed. I was getting ready to move and to where I'm living now. And anyway, my whole lower back seized up, and I was in excruciating pain. I was in the middle of getting up, so I was kind of stuck. And anyway, so I went through this bit of a process of trying to manage the pain and the muscle spasms. And my temporary roommate at the time was there, thankfully, to help me. And while I'm in excruciating pain, I could hear sort of consciousness or source or myself as the observer saying, even pain is an illusion. And I'm just kind of like, what? Right? Because I'm in excruciating, like it was like 10 out of 10 pain for quite some time. And I'm like, this is really interesting that here's Crystal, the character, experiencing excruciating pain in her body, and then there's the version of me, the real me, the I am, who is observing, looking at it, going, just so you know, this is an illusion. And I'm like, wow. It was actually quite profound because I didn't feel like I could get out of it right away. It didn't shift that quickly, but it was just such a deep, profound realization in that moment of experiencing pain. And so even in that, the acknowledgement that pain is present, but understanding, and even just in that space of relaxing into who you are as I am, that you're really observing the character. The character is feeling the pain. The character is feeling the emotions. The character is experiencing thoughts, but it's not even the full makeup really of the character. You're really observing yourself. And so sometimes the ability to sort of pull back a little bit and to observe what is actually happening, as if you're kind of like looking down on your character or whatever, noticing what's happening, can help us to begin to detach from even the physical discomfort that we're feeling. And then also, again, relaxing into I am. And then from there, allowing yourself to have a different perspective, another level of awareness. What are you aware of right now? And that sometimes can actually really help support us in being able to sort of let go and detach from just I'm this person in pain, or I'm an emotional person or whatever. Because whatever you say, I am, and then whatever comes after I am is basically what will show up in your 3D. But most of all, that's what's in your mind, and your imagination is so powerful. Everything that you experience in your 3D world and even in your physical body is your consciousness pushed out. It's all you. And so noticing and being aware of your human character that is actually pushing out all of this awareness, but you're so much more than that. You are consciousness. You are love. You are abundance. You are health. You are wealth. You are safety. You're all of these things already. So you can tap into what is really true about who you are and your true nature as source. And not necessarily have to attach in so deeply to the 3D. You know, give yourself what it is you want. So there's other experiences or versions of you that are not in pain. So you can give yourself the ability to have the experience of somebody else through your imagination. It starts. This is how it all sort of plays out. Through your imagination, give yourself permission to experience what it might be like to actually live as somebody who's never in pain. You're always well. You're always well. You're always happy. You're always whole, right? And so don't withhold that because you're waiting for your 3D or the mirror to reflect back to you. If you are not beginning to embody that and move into that state, it can't show you because everything external to you is the mirror. So when it comes to pain, and it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to be alleviated immediately. Sometimes it's a bit of a process because of the conditioning and the beliefs that are in place. But we're living according to sort of time, and everything is kind of very linear. But that's not how it works in sort of from a consciousness perspective. The moment you become aware of it, boom, it happens. Boom, you're not in pain. Boom, you're a person who's well. Boom, you're all of this. So you don't need to wait for your 3D to show you that you're no longer a person in pain. You begin to decide from the space of I am who you really are, and settle into that. You relax into that. And as you do that, you're going to find that the physical symptoms and things like that, or the emotions or the ups and downs, you know, the mental health issues will begin to resolve themselves, because from the place of I am, there is no problem. There is no problem. You are perfect. Truly, you are. So I hope that helps. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I do run a monthly coaching group called Journey Back to You, and it's $27 Canadian a month, and there's a free trial for the first month. You're welcome to join. You can have access to the other videos and things like that we've done previously from previous sessions, and or book a private session with me. I'd be happy to see you privately as well if that would be more helpful to you. So have an amazing day. Sending you so much love, and just know that not everything is fixed. Even in your 3D, it's not fixed. The only thing that's fixed is whatever you say is. That is what is really true for you. But it can change. It's fluid. Okay? Bye for now.